Well, guys, if you've been sitting here watching for a while, you probably saw me on camera there for a second before the thing even began. I apologize for that, but that's just, live TV, live streaming, live anything. Thanks for joining me here at the First Alert Desk. My name is Allen Devlin. I'm an anchor here with Atlanta News First. We're going to be talking about today's top stories. Really top story, one, singular, because the main thing that I wanted to talk to you guys about is what is happening in Maine right now. If you are aware, of course, we are following a development out of Maine where a mass shooting took place yesterday. At least 18 people dead and many others injured. And right now it's pretty much a massive manhunt looking for the suspected shooter, a gentleman by the name of Robert Card, a man by the name of Robert Card, I should say. And they're trying to find him. No clue where he is. Lewiston, Maine right now devastated, mourning the lost, mourning the dead, but also terrified because they are dealing with what could be a potential armed and dangerous man running around their community, and he still is not caught. Right now, if you are listening to my voice as I speak, they actually have the suspect's house surrounded. Police do right now up in Maine, where they are making announcements and calls and speaking over the megaphone, sending drones up, saying, come out with your hands up. We don't want anyone else to get hurt. But what we're not understanding is what led them to think he's in the house. They're calling him out by name. We had not seen any instance of him being in the house. And experts are saying that there's a good chance that he isn't in the house, but something makes them believe he could be. Emphasis on could. And if he could be in the house, you want to treat the situation just like if you were sure he was, because he is armed and dangerous. He did flee that scene, and he's been on the run since, which is showing a sign of a willingness to fight back, showing a sign of a want to survive. And that is dangerous when you pair that with the mental health complications that have been outlined since he first opened fire a little bit before, 26 hours ago, 6:45, we've been told Eastern time. I want to show you guys some video of what's been happening in Maine over the last, 16 hours, just like I said. This is Robert Card. This is the suspected shooter, where they've got his house right now surrounded. And they've got spotlights all over it. Police have been up and down the state, the area, neighboring states, for the last 26 hours pretty much since the shooting first happened. They were able to quickly identify him after he opened fire, or that police say he opened fire, at a bowling alley and a restaurant. So it was a bar, bowling alley, and a restaurant is where he walked in. And there's no real motive right now as to exactly how this happened or how he carried it out. We got a few details about his background. He's got a military background. A lot of people that work with him described him as calm-mannered, said he was always quiet and respectful. If it does come to view that this suspect is convicted of this, obviously their understanding of who he was and what he was capable of was not accurate. Now, mind you, at the same time, while they are searching for this man, and they might potentially have him cornered in his house right now, we have not heard too much necessarily updates-wise about who all has been impacted by this. We got a couple of details on some of the victims and their lives, who they were, names, beliefs, families spoken. But that number keeps changing. So, yesterday there was a point when some outlets, not Atlanta News First, but some outlets were saying 22 people had died with 50 or 60 injured. You wake up this morning, that number has gone down, which is fantastic, to 18, but it's still fluid because there are still a lot of people in the hospital, and that some people who were injured initially may be fighting for their lives. We pray all of them make it. All of them might not make it. So that number might go up. Right now, Card, though, is suspected of and charged with the murder of 8 people, but 18 are dead. So we're also working to figure out why those other 10 people haven't been connected to Card yet in connection with those other 10. I believe I got a story right here that kind of walks us through how we got here, starting with 6:45 yesterday up in Lewiston, Maine. I want to play that for you here, and hopefully I have audio. Take a listen.
Following multiple shootings in Lewiston, Maine, police all over the state are searching for this man, 40-year-old Robert Card, who has been described as a person of interest.
Card is considered armed and dangerous. If people see him, they should not approach Card or make contact with him in any way.
Authorities say anyone who sees Card or has any information about the shootings should call 911 immediately. Police were seen searching a parking garage after a vehicle of interest was found minutes away in Lisbon, Maine. Public safety officials are warning residents in both communities to shelter in place.
Yeah, an active shooter. We have multiple injuries.
Local authorities say the shooting began just before 7 p.m., first at a restaurant and then at a bowling alley a short time later.
Out of nowhere, he just came in and there was a loud pop, and I just booked it down the lane, and I slid basically into where the pins are and climbed up in the machine.
According to a Maine law enforcement bulletin seen by CBS News, Card is a trained firearms instructor believed to be in the Army Reserves, and he has reported mental health issues. A reunification center has been set up at a middle school in the neighboring community of Auburn.
There's a significant amount of shock going on with people that were actually witnesses.
The FBI says it is assisting with the investigation, though Maine State Police will continue to take the lead. Bradley Blackburn, CBS News, Lewiston, Maine.
And that's where we're at right now. That's kind of the details that we have. And again, Atlanta News First will keep you updated online and on air as soon as anything develops at Card's house, as police continue to keep that place surrounded with drones and helicopters and SWAT cars and SWAT vehicles. It's a whole process out there in Maine, and we're going to continue to pray that no one else is injured or killed as this manhunt continues for the suspect, Robert Card. I just want to take some time. That's the one story I told you guys I was going to talk about. I'm going to keep you updated. I apologize for not talking about anything locally here today, but you can join us coming up at 10 o'clock on Peachtree TV, where we'll have a lot more to discuss. In the meantime, I want to talk about something a lot better, a lot more fun, a lot more positive. The weather outside. We're going to bring in meteorologist Patrick Pete here, who looking out over Marietta Square. It's one of those nights where it's like, is it really the fall? But apparently, Patrick, it's going to dip out on us at some point here. I haven't felt it yet, though.
Yeah, it's going to feel amazing out there as we head through the next couple of hours. Feeling very comfortable as we head through the next couple of days. Temperatures are going to warm. We're going to be nearly 10 degrees above average some of these afternoons. So really looking forward to this nice little warm-up trend that we're talking about. Look at these numbers. Can't really complain about it.
I mean, I see that big old drop-off, though. I mean, we're like 83, 65. Okay, my bad. I'm trying to be a meteorologist.
I'm one of those people who like to eat my dessert first. We're going to talk about the sweet part of the forecast before we get to the part that's a little dicey. Things are looking good, though, the next couple of days. We are talking about temperatures that will be roughly in the lower 80s for the next couple of days. So really looking forward to this weather. It's just going to be amazing. So just go ahead and be prepared for it. Go ahead and get your mind wrapped around these warm numbers. Things are looking fantastic for us for the next couple of days. So good evening. Happy Thursday. I hope you all are having a fantastic day. The weather was great, so if you weren't, don't blame me. The good news is here's a look at where we're going. One more time, 71 is the normal number, so well above average for the next couple of days. But as Alan alluded to, there's a big drop in this 7-day, and that's why we're first alerting. Tuesday's going to be that transitional day where we expect cooler air to start to build in, and we're going to lose nearly 20 degrees in the afternoon. We're going to go from 83 Monday afternoon to 65 Tuesday afternoon. So while there's not a whole lot of moisture along this front, it will feel noticeably different, and you can consider this first alert as a heads up to the changing weather pattern that will be moving into the region as we head into the beginning of next week. Tuesday and Wednesday, both cooler days, and even looking at Thursday, it's not looking the best. It's going to be a little chilly, so we're going to go from these very warm, comfortable temperatures to needing sleeves for all day parts as we head through next week. So it's even more important for you to enjoy this beautiful weather that we have out there as we head into your Friday. We were talking about partly cloudy skies being a part of the forecast. The morning numbers aren't too bad because we have clouds in the south flow. We'll start off in the low 60s, so very comfortable, very manageable, roll the windows down type weather for the ride to work. Getting into the low 70s as we approach lunchtime, and then sailing for the 80s. It's going to be beautiful for that commute home. I expect to see some windows rolled down in the evening as well, just because it's going to be amazing. After that, if you're thinking about going to check out any one of the concerts that we have going on in town, Tamar Braxton is performing at Buckhead Theater starting at 8 o'clock. This is going to be a dress for warmth type of situation. We'll be at 70 degrees as that's getting kicked off, sliding into the mid-60s through the overnight. Another mild evening that's going to lead to a beautiful Saturday. Now, I know I am new to Georgia, but I've heard that this Georgia-Florida game is like a thing, and it's a cocktail party. It's the largest in the South, and a lot of y'all are going to be tailgating and being out in the streets on Saturday, and that's great. But I will probably be checking out this one music fest that's going to be going down for 2 days in Piedmont Park. And honestly, you really couldn't have picked a better weekend in October for it. Spending most of the day in the upper 70s, getting into the low 80s for a couple of hours Saturday. Going to be gorgeous. Nice little breeze out of the southwest. It's going to be amazing to be outside on Saturday. But that cold front will start to slide down as we head through the week. And you can see that what's going to happen is that front's going to migrate further south. And that's going to bring some cooler air in, starting for extreme northwest Georgia as early as Tuesday morning. And it's going to dig down deeper as we head into Wednesday. And that's going to lead to a very cold start for the kiddos at the bus stop. So first alert for the dropping numbers through the day on Tuesday, that low-end chance for rain, but just a bigger shift from where we're going from Monday to Tuesday. And then that first alert Wednesday, because that morning low of 41 means that folks that are outside of the city, away from Hartsville-Jackson, you're going to be cooler than that. So I expect a lot of you to wake up to numbers that are going to be in the mid to upper 30s to start off your Wednesday morning, and only getting into the 50s for a high. So while it's going to be pretty dry, limited moisture around, there is a big temperature change that's coming down the pipeline. Be prepared for it. This is your first alert. This is your heads up. If you haven't rotated your closets and brought those hoodies and sweaters down, this is the time to do it. Just make sure you pick a better one than my producer Brett has on. But chilly even into your Thursday. Not much of a change as far as those numbers from Wednesday to Thursday. So just be prepared for those cooler numbers. I want to check out YouTube. I know a lot of you guys are joining us at home on the Atlanta News First Plus app, and some of you are joining us on YouTube. And sometimes the YouTube folks have questions about the forecast. What's going on, YouTube? I see y'all over there. No questions, which is great news. So I'll just leave you with the 7 days so you can do your screenshots, preparing for an amazing weekend, and for the latest on the forecast, and of course that temperature drop. Tuesday, we're going to have updated models coming in within the next hour, and we'll have a live look at that for you at 10 and 11. So have a good night.